Let me just open Eclipse. 1 minute, guys. I'm opening Eclipse. Okay. Yep, guys. So in the previous classes, we have seen the basics, that is how increment and decrement of is going to work. And we have seen 4 types of methods also. So let's just proceed with some of the main operations. Okay. Again, this is also a basic only, but plays very vital role. Okay. What is that one is nothing but the conditional statements. Okay. We have a variety of condition. I believe conditional statement is not been covered, right? And looping statement is also not been covered, right?
सर नहीं हुआ सर.
Okay, guys. So when come to the conditional statements, 1 second. I believe my screen is visible. Yeah. Screen visible, right, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'll come here. When come to something called conditional statements, there are variety of conditional statements. Okay. Very first thing is something called if condition. Very first thing is something called if condition. Okay. And second one is something called nested if condition. Okay. Condition. Nested if condition. And third one is something called else if condition or if else condition. Both are same. Okay. Condition. Else if or if else condition. These three plays a vital role. Okay. Let me make it as 3. Okay. And apart from that, we have one more, that is something called switch case. Okay. Switch case. Okay, switch case. So these are the 4 types of conditional statements which are going to work very, very important. Okay, everywhere, guys. Why? Because these conditional statements, they are going to help us to take a decision while executing a program. Okay, whether we need to execute one part or whether we need not to execute any part, like this decision making they'll help us. Okay, well, let's try to understand first one, if condition. See here, if is again, as I told you that the conditional statement, the syntax of the if condition. Okay, the syntax of the if condition looks something like this, guys. That is, if of condition. Okay, if of condition, then what will happen? Some set of codes will be executed. Okay, some set of code will be executed. So this is what we call it as a condition, means if condition, and here is something called statements. Okay, statements like this will look. Okay, so what is going to happen here, guys? If condition, this is the syntax, how it looks like, means inside a if condition will give one condition. Okay, inside if one, what will do in this bracket will give one condition. If that condition satisfy, it will execute one set of instruction. If this condition is failed, then control will not go inside if condition, and it will not execute. Remember, guys, one thing as a note which should always remember, that is, as a note which you should always remember as that is, I will write it here as the return type, the return type of all conditional statement is boolean. Okay, the conditional return type of the, what is that, this conditional statement is always boolean, means whether you go with the if condition, nested if condition, else condition, and switch case, always the return type of this boolean condition is something called, means controls conditional statement is boolean itself, Means this statement here, whatever you put a condition here, it will either return your true value or either it will return a false value. If this condition returns true value, it will get inside a if condition, it will execute. If it returns a false value, it will not go inside a if condition. For an example, okay, example over there, what I would like to do here is I'll tell here as int age is equals to 18. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to write a program on here. Now look at here, guys. I'll write an example. I'll tell if age is greater than 18. Okay, age is greater than 18. I'll write it here as something called system.out.println. I'll tell allowed to drive. Okay, drive. That's it. Okay, I'll tell it as if age is less than 18, less than 18. I'll make it as greater than or equal to 18. Less than 18, then what I'll do, I'll put a condition system dot out dot println. I'll tell you here is as not allowed to drive, not allowed to drive. Okay, not allowed to drive. Okay, so I'll close it here. Now, if you look at this particular statement, don't you think some decisions has been taken? Means whether to execute this statement or not, whether to execute the statement or not, one decision has been taken. Now we have declared int age is equals to 18. अगर ये एज ग्रेटर देन 18 है, जो भी यूजर ने कलेक्ट किया एज ग्रेटर देन 18 है, then what it will do, it will return you a true value, it will go inside a if condition, this will be executed. If this condition is failed, it will come here, it will check one more time condition. Is the age, if it is not greater than 18, it will check is it less than 18. Okay, if it is less than 18, then it will return true, it will come here, it will execute. Okay, in both of the condition, if both the condition returns true value, both will execute. If none of them return true value, nothing will be executed. If any one will return, that will be executed. Am I clear with this if condition, guys? Guys?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Then quickly copy. These are the easy and basic topics. Quickly copy.
सर 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 इसी को हमको इसी प्रोग्राम को अगर हमको स्ट्रिंग में करना हो तो कैसे करेंगे?
जी ठीक है, ये लिख लीजिए, मैं लिख के दिखाता हूँ अभी इक्लिप्स में. ओके Guys, completed. Make it fast.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, then let's write some programs in this one. So I'll share my clips. Um, yep. Okay. Yes, guys. So let's perform the same operation. So first, I'll tell scanner system dot in, and I'll create a reference scan. Okay. I'll ask the user to enter age. Okay. I'll ask the user to enter your age. Now I'll write here as int age is equals to scan dot next in. Okay. Now I'll write a condition. Write a condition saying that I'll take if age is greater than or age equal to 18, then what we'll do, to print it as eligible driving, and and if age is less than or less than 18, okay, then what I'll do, I'll give the output as not eligible for driving. Okay. Now look at here. Now based on the condition of what I'm going to give, means the input what I'm going to give, the output will be triggered. Now what I'll do, let me just run my program here. Okay, 1 second, guys. Run as Java application. You can see here it is asking to enter the age. I'll tell you there's something called 23. Now tell me, 23 means what will happen? 23 will be collected, stored here, and it will check age. What is the age I have given now? 23. Is 23 greater than or equal to 18? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Then is this condition is satisfied? Then it will return a true value. Then it will come inside a if condition, and this will be printed. And it will, after that it will come to the next line, and here it will check is 23 is lesser than 18. Yes or true or false?
False.
False, right? Then it will return false, means it will not go inside a if condition. This set of line of statements will not be executed. Look at here. I'll click on enter. Can you see here eligible for driving? Okay. Once again, I'll run the program and I'll tell you there's something called 16. And you can see here not eligible for driving. Means what is happening here? Some decision is being taken based on the condition which we are going to give. And that conditions we can give inside a conditional statement, in which if condition is one of the conditional statement. Am I clear? Everyone?
हाँ सर.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You are asking something in string, right? What is the thing you were expecting?
इसको इसी को स्ट्रिंग प्रोग्राम में लिखना हो तो कैसे लिखेंगे सर?
स्ट्रिंग प्रोग्राम में मतलब क्या
सर
लिखना है
स्ट्रिंग
string में?
ऐसे ऐसे सर हमको एज नहीं डिजिट में नहीं देना है, नेम में देना है कुछ ऐसा कोई प्रोग्राम.
अच्छा,
ईट की जगह
तो
स्ट्रिंग होगा.
स्ट्रिंग्स तो मैंने अभी पढ़ाया नहीं ना. Okay, fine. See, guys, I have not taught you string, but since your friend is asking, let me just do it in his way. Don't worry if you don't understand it, but I'll write a program for that. Next, I'll tell it as string the age is equals to those. This time, what I'll do, I'll collect the value in the something called string. Okay. Now I need to check whether whatever the age is given, right? Is it matching with that one or not? I'll write it as if it is 18, if his age is 18, then he is eligible. If not, nothing should be done. Okay. Some example I'm giving. Okay. I'll tell here as age dot equals. Okay. Age dot equals, I'll tell EIGHTEEN. Now, what is happening here is this guy equals is one of the inbuilt method which is available in the string class. What is the work of this equals method is going to do is it will check the content it is present here and here. If both are equal, then it will return a true value. If it is true, then it will go inside and execute this one. Otherwise, it will, what is that? It will not execute. Okay. I'll tell here as next is age dot A equals, I'll tell it as something called 18. Okay, 18. And until let me tell it as something called here as something called not. Okay. And now look at here, guys. I'll run the program. Okay. You can look at here. Oh, let me keep it here only. Huh. So run a Java application. I'll tell it as something called 18 means look at here. You're eligible for driving. Okay. Next, what I'll do, I'll run the program. I'll tell it as something called 10. You can see here, not eligible for driving. Means here I've written a condition in such a way that only it matches 18. Greater than 18 also not matching, lesser than 18 also not matching. Okay, one basic example. Is it clear, Shashi?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If in case you want to copy the program neatly, you can copy this one. Done. Make it fast, quickly. Done? Okay. Fine, guys. So I believe you understood what is a if condition is going to do, and the syntax also you have understood. So let's go back and try to understand the nested if condition. See, guys, the nested if condition means nothing but one condition is been nested into another. Okay, nested means embedded or kept inside one another. So like a sandwich. For an example, let me write here as something called nested if condition, the syntax. Okay, syntax. How does a syntax looks like? I'll tell it as something called if of condition one. Okay, I'll open this particular so if condition, and I'll tell it as something called some set of statement. Let me write it as something called statement one. Okay, and inside this one, if in case you can write a statement one, otherwise instead of statement, let me write it as something called if of condition. Okay, if of condition, I'll tell it as condition two. Okay, and this is also true. Okay, if this is also true, then only what you can do, you can execute some statement. Okay, some statement, and otherwise you cannot execute any kind of a statement like this. Okay, in middle also you can get some statement, here also like this we can get a statement. Means ultimately what we are going to say here is, guys, here one inside a if condition, there is another if condition. If both conditions are true, then only the statement will be executed. It means condition 1 should return true, it will come inside a if condition. Condition 2 also returns true, then also it will come inside a if condition, then only this statement will execute. If one is true, another is not true, then what will happen? It will not execute. For an example, okay, let me just write here as something called example. I'll tell it as something called, let me take two variables. I'll tell it as int a is equals to 10. I'll tell int b is equals to 20. Okay, I'll tell it as if a if a is greater than b. Okay, let me take one more variable. I'll tell int c is equals to 30. Okay. Uh, hmm. Um, Wait 1 second. I'll tell if c is greater than a. Okay, and I'll tell it as if I'll tell it as something called if c is also greater than b, then what is the conclusion? I can say that. What is the conclusion, guys? We can give there was, that is system dot out dot println c is greater. Okay, c is greater. Okay, c is greater. Now look at this program, guys. What I have written here is I have taken initially 3 variables, that is a, b, and c. Now I just wanted to show you that in this 3 example whether c is greater or not. Now tell me, by looking at the 3 variables, definitely you can tell it as c is greater, right? Yes or no? Now, like that only, if you look at here, is I'm writing a condition, is c greater than a. Now c value is 30, a value is 10. Now tell me, 30 is greater than a, true, then it will come inside here. Now tell me, c is 30, b is 20. Now tell me, 30 is greater than 20, this is also true, it will come inside. Then what will do? It will print as c is greater. Means this condition satisfy, it is taking, sorry, it is taking one decision and it is printing as c is greater. Okay. Now you might ask, sir, what about the B and C? How we'll check with they are greater or not? Don't worry. On that program, we are not looking here. We are just understanding how does nested if looks like. In future, when we start with the programming concept, I'll teach you, right, how to do all those things, and easier way I'll show you. Is it clear? Is it clear?
sir.
Quickly copy this. Completed? Okay, let me put this into the programming also. I'll collect the 3 numbers from the user. Otherwise, manually I'll declare it here. Y2 unnecessary. Create so many lines. I'll tell as int A is equals to 10, B is equals to 20. I'll tell int C is equals to 30. Okay. I'll tell here is if C is greater than A, if C is greater than B, then what we can do is we can just print it as something called C is greater. Okay, greater. Okay, now look at here. Now tell me, is this condition satisfied? Yeah? Yes or no? It should print C as greater, right?
Sir, we are taking values manually, right? So we
Yeah,
no need a scanner object right now.
yeah, not required. That is fine.
Okay,
No,
sir.
okay. Yeah. So this is also not required. Okay, now this condition satisfied, it should print as C is greater. You can see C is greater. Now, instead of this one, if I make this one as something called 40, now do you think it will print anything? Nothing will be printed. Look at here. I'm running the program. Nothing is getting printed over there. Once again, I'll run the program. Nothing will be printed over there. Okay. So you understood, guys, how does nested if condition works? Guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I have a requirement using the same program, write a nested if condition to check A, B, and C, all the 3. Okay, whichever is condition is satisfying, whichever is the greater, you need to print that one. Can you write a program for that one? Now I have written a nested if condition to check whether if C is greater. If C is greater, it will print C is greater. Okay. So similarly, write a program for B, A and B also in the same program. And let me know quickly. You have 2 minutes. Make it fast. Guys, completed? Completed? Please make it fast. Guys, quickly update. Yeah. Is it completed? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me your answer? How did you do? You can put it in the chat box. If in case you have put it in the laptop, you can put it in the chat box. Okay, fine. Yes, I believe you people have written. So let me just show you. Okay. Just tell me if this is what you have done. I'll tell it as something called if A is greater than B and A is greater than C. Okay. Then answer will be A is greater. And here I'll tell it as something called if what is that? B is greater than A, and if B is greater than C, okay, then answer will be B is greater. So this is what you have done, guys.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's great then. That is correct. Now look at here, guys. Irrespective of any values, all the output will come. Okay, and you can see here. You can see here A is greater. Now I'll make it as B as 200 means which is bigger now? B, right? If I run the program, you can see B is greater. Now if I make it this as a 300, so which is a greater now? C, right? If I run the program, you can see C is greater. Means all the three are working. Means I believe you got the clarity about what is nested if condition, how it can work, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's proceed with the another one. So next what we have something called is nothing but
सर इसको हम
else if.
यूजर से भी ले सकते थे ना, इसके स्कैनर ऐसे लगा के।
Yes, you want me to show that or you understood?
तो सर उसको पहले डिलीट क्यों कर दिए सर?
क्योंकि मुझे 3 बार यूजर से कनेक्ट करने के लिए और 6 लाइन लिखना पड़ता था ना, इंटर ए इंटर बी इंटर सी। सो इसलिए आसान बनाने के लिए मैंने एक ही लाइन में एक ही बार में कलेक्ट कर लिया डायरेक्टली। ठीक है?
सर
और यू वांट मी टू राइट एंड शो द स्कैनर आल्सो? एक्नॉलेज नहीं करते यार तुम लोग। चलो ठीक है। So next let's work with the else if condition. Okay. So when come to the else if condition, what does else if condition is going to do here is something called here. Let me just write a syntax. Okay, this is important. Else if and or else if else both are same only. Okay, syntax. Now when come to this one, what is going to happen here is it works in this format. Yes, I'll tell you as if of condition. If of condition, if this is true. Okay, if of condition, if this is true, then what will happen? If this is true, some set of condition will execute. Otherwise, one more set of conditions will be executed. It is very simple. Okay, it is very simple one. Now, look at here, guys. If this condition is true, then what will happen? A set of statement one type will be executed. Otherwise, I'll tell it as something called statement two will be executed. Okay, so this is how what is that else if or if else condition looks like, the syntax is. Now look at here in the previous program. Okay, in the previous program here, to just check one particular thing, we wrote some condition, if condition, again we wrote if condition, again we wrote some if condition. But when come to the if else condition or else if condition, it will check one condition. If that is true, then it will execute this one. Otherwise, directly it will execute the second statement without checking any other condition. Understanding? In the previous program, every time whether A is greater, B is greater, C is greater, all the three conditions were checked. But in this kind of statements, what we can do here is it will check one condition. If it is true, it will execute its if body. Otherwise, without checking any condition, directly it will command execute the else condition. Am I clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, let me write one example. What example we can take? Let me take same example, driving example only. I'll take it here. I'll tell here as int age is equals to 18. Let me take it as something called uh, int age is equals to 18 only. Okay, int age is equals to 18. I'll tell here as if age is greater than or equal to 18, then what you do is you can print it as something called system.out.println eligible for driving. Okay, eligible for driving. Otherwise, see here without writing any other condition now. I'll tell it as else. Else, one second, I'll write system.out.println. What I can do here is not eligible, not eligible, not eligible for driving. Okay, I'll close this. See here, guys, what is happening here? I'm checking one condition. If condition is true, it will execute this one. Otherwise, without even checking any other condition, this will be executed. Okay, so let's see in the program. Okay, first complete this one, copy this one, then I'll show you, execute and show you quickly. Any doubts, feel free to ask. Okay, one question we have, sir, can we use else if condition in nested if? Yes, you can. That is my next example. Okay. Once you understand the concept, you can play like anything with this. Done, huh? Okay, so let me just execute this also quickly. Look at here, guys. If let me take a same age example. See is sufficient. If I'll let us int age is equals to 18. Okay, I'll tell here as if age is greater than or equal to 18, I'll write this out. Okay, and what I'll do here is I'll tell it as something called eligible for driving. Okay, I'll tell else condition, and you can see here something called not eligible. Okay, eligible. Okay, now look at here, guys. I'll run the program. And you can see here what is happening here. You're eligible for 1 second. Okay, you're eligible for driving. It is showing as expected. Yeah, we were dealing with this one, right? Yes. Okay, you can see here it directly. If the age also, let me tell it as age is equals to something called 16. See, guys, without checking anything, any condition, directly else condition will be executed as not eligible. Okay. Now, in an interview, if they ask, then why I should, which is the best one? I should choose the if condition or if else condition if they ask. What you will answer, guys? What you will answer? If you have if condition and if else condition, which one you would you like to prefer?
If else.
If else, right? Very good. Yeah. Why? Because here in the if condition, if I'm using to perform the same operation, how many condition I should write? 2 condition I should write. 2 times it will check the condition, and what will happen? It will execute. If it is if else condition, only 1 condition it will check and output will be printed directly. Yes or no? So what is happening? The number of conditions checked are reduced. Number of conditions checked are reduced and execution speed will be very fast. Now here only 1 condition, then fine. When you write a big programs, then what will happen? A slightly delay. The performance of your applications will be reduced. Okay, quickly copy this. Oh, already 10:52. Guys, make it fast. How was the festival, guys? Did you guys enjoy? Festival, you didn't enjoy? Sir, will you provide the notes on previous classes? Guys, I don't provide any notes, okay? I'll just, whatever it is, I'll dictate all the definitions and the program, everything in the class itself. It is your responsibility to write it. If in case, Dinesh, if you have missed it, don't worry. You can collect it from any of your friends who is there in this class. Okay? But I don't sit and write any notes. I just directly look at the topic and I'll teach it. Okay? You can ask any of your friends. Guys, come on, make it fast. I have one more class. I make notes, but it is in ML. Okay, that's great, Sarfraz. Then please share with Dinesh. Okay, you put it in the group. If anyone else is also required, they'll also utilize it. Okay, that will be helpful. Thanks, Sarfraz. Dinesh, your friend will be sharing the group, Sarfraz. Completed, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine, guys. So tomorrow I'll be taking you for 2 hours of class. Okay, tomorrow, because I need to finish this and one more topic, so that from Monday we can start with some actual and good concepts. So tomorrow 2 hours class will be there, guys. Please be prepared for that. Okay, if you have any other commitments. Fine, guys. Thank you.
ऑनलाइन ही क्लास चलेगी?
नहीं, कल ऑफलाइन आता हूँ यार. आज थोड़ा काम था और इसलिए मैं उठ नहीं पाया.
Okay.
इसलिए so कल we'll have offline class tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Bye, guys.
Sir, from Monday onwards, we have 2-hour sessions. Sir.
That I have to check, guys. But tomorrow I'll take 2 hours. That is for sure. Okay.
Okay,
Monday
sir.
I am expecting to get some answer if they are allowed. So I'll take 2 hours. So don't worry about it.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.